I've worked in various jobs over the years. I was a civil servant for a long time, and I worked in the hospital setting as well. But really, my passion is being outside and being in nature, and owning dogs really sort of helped me to see what made me happy in life. So that led to me starting up my own dog walking business a few years ago, which took a little while to build up the client base, but then became very busy, quite successful. I just love being outside in nature. It's where I'm happy, it's where I can clear my head, and I've just met so many other lovely people through their dogs that I would never have met. I really sort of discovered that being outside in nature, and especially with the dogs, if I didn't have the dogs I wouldn't be outside in nature. I'd probably be sitting at home wallowing in my own self-pity. But definitely, you know, I've toughened up a bit now, but in my earlier years, teenage years, I would have been a very sensitive person, taking things really to heart. Would have suffered with anxiety, depression as well, and really being outside and sort of walking has been just a saviour to me, really. You know, it's just the most incredible way. Doesn't matter if it's sunny, raining, hailstone, snow, I just love getting out. And you know, I might have a bit of anxiety or worry or stress or something before I go out, but by the end of that walk I feel fantastic. Now, I'm not saying everything in life's always rosy in the garden, but it's been an amazing way for me just to sort of get out of my own head and be able to walk and process my thoughts and say, well, actually I've catastrophized something in my head. It's not a big deal. And it just gives me the space to do that. And I know I've met other people with similar struggles, and we've been able to connect through that. We've both found that being outside in nature has been just a real blessing to us. There's something about being out in nature that is really soothing, for me personally anyway. It's just a great stress reliever, and I just the lockdown was quite hard for me because I was used to being out so much. But I was always grateful for any of the time I got outdoors, because it's just definitely helps me in my everyday life. I suppose for me it's like a coping strategy, really, and that I'm not relying on maybe heavy medication or something like that. It's like a natural stress reliever for me, and I don't know if everybody sort of knows that. You're kind of a very lucky person if you have animals and that you're outdoors with them, because you get to experience that. I know I didn't have animals for years, and since getting my dog after a period of a number of years, I've seen how my mood improved. So as part of the business in the future, I would love to be able to do sort of walk and talk things with people, because I think it's a more comfortable environment to share than maybe sitting in an office somewhere. And had the idea of as well, before all this sort of kicked off too, that I would set up a big group walk for people to come along to. Maybe people who just aren't confident to walk on their own, maybe a bit worried about walking on their own, maybe people who just want to get a bit fitter, people who might feel isolated or lonely, maybe have mental health problems, maybe have disabilities, you know, maybe autism, different things like that. And I wanted to really include as many people as I could, as a way for people to make connections, in the hope that the walk would be a way to facilitate people meeting in ways that would last outside of the walk, and they could make those connections and stay in touch with those people. And I had set an event up that was scuppered a couple of times by storms and various things, but there were up to 100 people that were interested in coming, which really spoke to me and really sort of showed me that this had struck a chord with people, that this was a real issue. All of these factors are a real issue, and that people are really craving company, and they could come along and not talk. You know, there's no pressure to be anything other than yourself, and just show up and be comfortable. If people wanted to share, they could share. If they didn't have to. And that hasn't really happened yet, just because of the virus outbreak. But now we have bit more scope to do that with 6 people allowed to meet up from other households. So it's a possibility that something could get set up in the very near future, that we can set some small groups up just to meet and walk, with or without dogs. That doesn't depend on dogs, you know. That was just a sort of facilitator to get everything going. So if you would like to know about the groups that we're going to set up to do these socially distanced walks of 6 people, I will post it in the Walk This Way dog walking page, but I'll also post it in the Walk This Way Together page. I might even post it on the buy and sell sites, in a skill and buy and sell, those sort of communities that maybe don't follow my page, just to let people know that it's there, it'll be happening, and we can set up some sort of system that a waiting list sort of thing. If people want to join those walks, we'll set up specific dates for those and get those up and running, so people can be together at a distance. You know, that's the Walk This Way Together is together apart, you know. So that's kind of the motto of the page, but we are still connected, and it would be lovely if people would like to see that happening. They can contact through the page. I'll post all the details once we get dates set in place, and we can go from there and get everybody out who wants to meet with other people. We'll go somewhere nice and remote, and where we can just enjoy being outdoors in nature together.